Alright, guitar modes. This is on a keyboard. We're going to use the key of C because that way there aren't any black keys involved and you can see what I'm doing if you don't play keyboards. So that's the simple Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, the major scale. So tone, tone, semitone, because there's no black key in between there, between E and F, just like on your guitar. Then tone, 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 semitone. Key of C. Alright, so we're talking about the modes here. And each note of the scale, a chord is basically an interval structure like this. We'll think of it as every other key for now. Okay, so a chord can be made off the first note of the scale. You get a major chord, in this case C major. Then off the second note of the scale, same structure, we get a D minor chord. Hear the minor sound? The 3 chord we get an E minor. Back to the 4 chord, one of the primary chords, which is an F major in this case. The 5 chord is major. The 6 chord, some call it the relative minor. Off the 7th degree you get a diminished chord, which has this interesting interval. It's called a tritone. Okay. Which wants to resolve to the 1 chord. So a lot of cases we'll add that note on the bass to make a 4-part chord, which becomes a dominant 7th. In this case it's G7, going back to the 1 chord. Okay? And the modes simply work in exactly the same way. You've got 7 notes, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it repeats. You've got 7 modes, 7 chords. What I just did, okay? So okay, that's Ionian. Ionian is mode 1. Dorian on the 2 chord. Phrygian on the 3 chord. Lydian on the 4 chord. Mixolydian on the 5 chord. Aeolian on the 6 chord. Locrian on the 7 chord, which is a rarely used mode, but just to know about it theoretically. Back to Ionian, okay? Now, it's just the major scale with choosing a different target note as the gravity depending on what chord you're on. If you're on an E minor, you need to, if you're in the key of C and you know it's a 3 chord, then you would use Phrygian. Because then it might go to a 6 chord, an A minor. And it might go to a 4 chord, to a 5 chord, to a 1 chord. But if you went on that same E minor, but it was a 2 chord in the key of D major, then you would have to correspond with the F sharp and the C sharp. So you'd have to play Dorian. E Dorian. A Mixolydian. To D Ionian. Okay? Good stuff. And another thing to be, when you practice, maybe, you know, it's a good idea, especially with at least a mode that's as common as Dorian. Dorian and Mixolydian, Aeolian, Lydian, they're all fairly common. You want to be able to root 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, root. Be able to sing them and know which notes you're on. Okay? Great.